start your daily life and you do what you do every day, you have to continuously remind yourself, and Allah, ma khalaqta hadha batila. Surely this is not, all this you have created is not naught. There is substance in all this. Subhanak, faqina adab an-nar. They reach a stage where they say, Ya Allah, please keep us away from hellfire. We'll do anything so you can keep us from the hellfire. Because they've reached a stage of contemplation that there's no doubt in their heart. There's not a small doubt in their heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of mankind. Because why? They are always in constant remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And number two, they always contemplate, always are in the stage of contemplation, always in the phase of contemplation. Now going back a bit, everyone here has a busy life. You start in the morning, either you go to school, some kids, or you go to college, or you go to university, or you start work, right? And then you go back home, you have all sorts of other things to do, you have a meal, watch TV perhaps, and things like that. And then you might feel very, very tired, and then you go to sleep, and then the next morning, same thing starts all over again. But this is perhaps, in these 3 days, an opportunity for us to sort of pause for a bit. This hectic lifestyle that we have, really hectic lifestyle, especially if we live in the West, we sort of have this thing that always makes you very much engaged with the life matters. So, this hectic lifestyle that we all have, perhaps we can do in this opportunity that we have in this camp, is we can pause for a bit. We pause so that we can contemplate. We pause and you look at yourself and you think, where am I going in this life? What sort of a Muslim am I? What sort of a Muslim am I? Do I have a close relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not? If you don't, some of the sisters, I pick on them because they talk to me. I'm very particular with them. So, if your life is full of all worldly engagements, you fully engage in all sorts of things in your life, and you don't think about the hereafter, you don't think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only when you come to pray. And our prayer is, they call it naqlul ghurab. Our prayer is so quick and we hardly concentrate. No one here can tell me that they concentrate in their prayer. If you do, then you perhaps have reached that degree where you will say, رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا سُبْحَانَكَ فَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. I don't think, I will say this for myself, I have not reached that stage. When I come to prayer, I keep on thinking about what's happening with my family, what's going to happen next, why did I do this and why did I do that. Whereas prayer is the time where we can contemplate. This is the time where we can actually contemplate. This is the time where we can say, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and reach the stage where we say, رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا سُبْحَانَكَ فَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. So you have this your daily life. It's it's full of all sorts of activities. But this is an opportunity for all of us to take some time off and just try to pause and think about how we can reach this stage of contemplation. Inshallah, in the next few talks, tomorrow and perhaps on Sunday, we will elaborate further from the Quran al-Kareem how we can reach that stage of contemplation, or start to reach that stage of contemplation. Perhaps the first thing to do is you listen to the lecture. If you want to contemplate, perhaps the first thing to do is you should actually listen to the lecture, which is only about just a very few minutes, and I will promise you I will be quiet in the next few minutes. But I just need your concentration, just for 5 minutes. Because for me, the reason why I chose this topic is because I think it's important for myself. So therefore I think it's important for everyone else. Because I don't think I have reached the stage where I can completely contemplate and reach a stage where I think that I am comfortable in my prayer, I am comfortable in remembering always Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and more importantly, I am comfortable in my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have you strengthened your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? All of this will have a meaning when you start to contemplate. الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا. And I think really, we should all memorize this ayah. It's a fantastic ayah. It just describes who the mu'min is. الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. You remember, you're always in remembrance, you always contemplate, you appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation. So the simplest thing we can do in this camp is perhaps have a walk around and contemplate. Just you and no one else. Just think about the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Think about this nature that we have all around us. Nature that was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tomorrow inshallah we will talk about Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. When he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he had a dialogue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But just before that, I would just like to mention one particular ayah that Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, a dialogue that Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam had with a king called Namrud, and inshallah I will end. Because this gives us an example of how the prophets used to show these dictators, these vicious kings at their time, the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, at the time when he was at Babel, there was a king called Namrud. Namrud was an extremely vicious and very silly king. He was a very stupid king. He's not, there are sometimes a very vicious but intelligent kings that, you can have a very good dialogue with. But it's extremely silly. So he asked Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, went and met Namrud, and he told him, and then a lot of people gathered around. So there was a dialogue between Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam and Namrud. So Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, he told him, Rabbi alladhi yuhyi wa yumit. My God knows how to bring back the dead and give them life. And He knows how He can, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enforces death on people. He told him, my God can do this. Namrud said, well, I can do that as well. أنا أحيي وأميت. So he told him, I can do that as well. أنا أحيي وأميت. So what he did, he took out 2 people from his prison. He shot dead, well, not shot, they didn't have guns at that time, but he probably just slaughtered him somehow, or he just chopped his head off, and he said, look, I've killed this guy. So أنا أميت. And then he freed another prisoner. So he gave him life, he said. But I need you to focus on how Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam dealt with this situation. I hope not everyone is bored, because it's a very, very important issue. And we should all try to, when we read the Quran, should try to focus on the exact meaning of the Quran and get a lesson from how the prophets used to have dialogues, how the prophets used to teach others, and how to prove the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam did not, at that instant, argued with Namrud, told him, well, that's a bit silly. How can you do such a thing? How can you take two people and you kill one and you let the other one free? That's not really the way shown. He didn't do all this. When Namrud showed his silliness, his stupidity in showing that he can bring back life, he just let someone free from prison and he just killed someone else. Ibrahim alayhi salam said, my God lets the sun rise from the east and sets in the west. Can you do such a thing? Remember, contemplate Allah's creation. Can anyone here make the sun rise from the west and set in the east? He told him, can you do the reverse? My God can take the sun, rise the sun from the east and set it in the west. Can you do the reverse of that? And of course, the Quran says, فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. He couldn't. He was faced with the reality of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one can do such a thing. No one can reverse the system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. And no one will ever, until thereafter, can change the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this gives us a although a very short story, but very brief. There's 2 points from this story. One is you see the diplomacy of Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. The way he dialogued, the way he had a discussion with Namrud. When Namrud showed his silliness, he didn't start to argue. He told him how silly the way you did this. And he told him, he just changed completely the topic, and he told him, look, my God can rise the sun from the east and sets in the west. Can you do the opposite? He said, no, I can't. There's no way I can do such a thing. So everyone knew the truth. The truth that there is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is a creator that has full control of our system, the universe. So he couldn't. So from that, the second lesson is, we can see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has this system that no one can interfere with. So therefore, this is something that we can always contemplate. Always when you do tafakkur, الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض. This is part of خلق الله. So finally, to wrap up, the theme in this camp is nature and Islam. And what we're going to try to do is touch upon certain issues where will help us to contemplate the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to help us perhaps strengthen our iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because again, honesty is vital, sisters. Honestly, as Canadian sisters are not good. The brothers, mashallah, very good. Canadian sisters. But listen. There's one thing that we can all do, perhaps, is when we contemplate, we can see that if we can strengthen our iman. There's one thing that no one can argue about here. And incidentally, honesty is vital. In any lecturer you hear, if he's not honest with you, and if he tells you you should do the following and you should do the following, but he's nowhere near this following, then you shouldn't really listen to the lecturer. The lecturer should be the first person, I think, who should say, I am honest, and I don't think I think like this. So therefore, first of all, I should teach myself, and then I teach you. And will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help me and then help you to reach this stage. I tell you honestly and truly, I haven't reached this stage where I can easily have full faith and have full contemplation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I need time to contemplate. I need different ways to try to focus on my salah. I'm pretty sure you guys also need. This is an opportunity in these 2 days for us all to try to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have some time, always be in remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just before you go to sleep, there's no harm in you saying Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Shukranillah. It takes less than 3 seconds. But there's much reward, and it will take you very, very much close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you will start off this characteristic, the full characteristic of the Iman, to sort of pause for a bit. This hectic lifestyle that we have, really hectic lifestyle, especially if we live in the West, we sort of have this thing that always makes you very much engaged with the life matters. So this hectic lifestyle that we all have, perhaps we can do in this opportunity that we have in this camp is we can pause for a bit. We pause so that we can start your daily life and you do what you do every day. You have to continuously remind yourself and Allah, ما خلقت هذا باطلا. Surely this is not, all this you've created is not naught. There is substance in all this. Subhanak, faqina adab an-nar. They reach a stage where they say, Ya Allah, please keep us away from hellfire. We'll do anything so you can keep us from the hellfire. Because they freeze. We pause and you look at yourself and you think, where am I going in this life? What sort of a Muslim am I? What sort of a Muslim am I? Do I have a close relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not? If you don't, some of the sisters, I pick on them because they talk to me. I'm very particular with them. So, if your life is full of all worldly engagements, you fully engage in all sorts of things in your life, and you don't see the stage of contemplation, there is no doubt in their heart, there's not a small doubt in their heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of mankind. Because why? They are always in constant remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and number two, they always contemplate, always are in the stage of contemplation, always in the phase of contemplation. Now going back a bit, everyone here has a busy life. You start in the morning, either you go to school, some kids, or you go to college, or you go to university, or you start work, right? And then you go back home, you have all sorts of other things to do, you have a meal, watch TV perhaps, and things like that. And then you might feel very, very tired, and then you go to sleep, and then the next morning, same thing starts all over again. But this is perhaps, in these 3 days, an opportunity for us